Okay, this is the second tutorial, as our second video in the tutorial of page transitions. If you haven't watched the previous tutorial, maybe I would suggest you go back and look at it so that you know what we're trying to create here. So we've already created all our controls. The next thing we want to do is we want to create the animations for the transitions. So we said if we click on the sliding footer button, this control is supposed to slide in. That's the footer control sliding. If we click on it again, it will slide out. Same for the two pages. This will slide in from the left and slide out, and this will slide in from the right and slide out. So the things we need are the animations. In this video, I'm going to show you how to create the animations, and then in the last video, we'll see how to hook up all the buttons. So let's go ahead and create the animations. So the things that need animating are first this page. So page one panel, you right click and choose add child node. We're going to add an animation player. Okay, animation player. Okay, so we're going to need that. For page 2 panel also, it's going to be animated, so we add a child node and call it animation player. Add another animation player, and then finally the footer panel is also going to be animated, so we right click and add an animation player on it. So each of them has animation players. I don't like the way this button is down here, so I'll just change the ordering. I'm not going to remove it from where it is. It is still inside panel. I just want it to come before, so after the title panel. Exactly. So we have the title panel and then the button and then the three controls that need to be. So I didn't change its parent. If you notice, its parent is still the panel. It's just the ordering of the items. Okay, so fine. First, let's start with animating the page. Okay, I think let's start with this one. The reason I would like to start with the page rather than the panel is because the animation for the page is going to be that's for both pages is going to be more than the number of animations for the footer, and then we can also reuse one of or two of the animations in the page panel for the footer. So we can reuse that the animation clip. So we should just go ahead and create. In fact, what we're going to do is we'll create the animations only on this page. Okay, we're going to create 4 animations: one for coming in to the screen, then one for going out of the screen, that's from the left. Okay, and then we'll create on it again, still we'll create another animation coming in from the right and going out to the right. That's, we're going to create all of them on the page one, on the page one control, and then we'll just take all those animations and copy them onto page 2. And then for the footer control, we only need 2 of those animations, the one coming in from left and going out to the left. We don't need the one for coming in from right and going out from the right. Okay, let's to start, after you click on your animation, you will click you will see that this icon comes this window comes out. The animation window comes out at the bottom of your viewport. Okay, so we're going to click on animation, click on new, and we're going to call this in from left. Okay, so after that, the first thing I would like us to do is that this animation, by default, the animation is lasts 1 second, but we don't want it to be that long. Okay, we want it to be probably, in the demo I used 0.6 of a second, 0.6 of a second. Right now I'm thinking probably 0.5 is fine, but we'll leave it to what we did in the demo. Okay, So we'll set, that's the first thing we set after creating the animation clip called in from left. We go here, this is where I set the 0.6. Notice there's another one here. This one is for selecting the slider. Okay, you can see as I move the animation slider, that is changing. So this is not what you change. This is the one that changes the whole duration. That's the complete duration of the animation clip. Okay, then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to add a track on the animation. We're going to choose property track, and the property we want is okay, first we have to choose a control whose property we want to change. So we want this particular control, page one control, and we choose OK. Then next we're going to say what property we want to change. So it's the anchor left we want to change. Okay, we click open, and there we have our anchor left animation track. We click another add track again. We need another property. We choose the same page one again and choose OK. You can now choose the anchor right. Okay, those are the two tracks we're going to be modifying. So it's only those two tracks will be changing, those two properties, because in the animation it's only the left and the right, anchor left and anchor right of the pages were changing. Even for the controls it's the same thing. Okay, so after that we're going to come back here. I think the first thing we do is we should create that reset animation, but maybe not. Okay, let's just leave the in from left. Okay, so now I move this slider to the beginning. I don't know if you noticed. So I move this slider to the beginning of the animation clip. Now I'm going to go and create what they call can't remember the name, the little uh, sorry about it, this is quite embarrassing. I can't even remember the name. I think it's a keystroke or something like that. They call it a keystroke or whatever it is. Anyway, when I create it, it's going to show as a little diamond here. Okay, it's going to show as a little diamond. So to do that, we're going to go to the page one panel and then enter the inspector, and then right here on the left, remember we have an anchor left animation track. So this is what we're going to click on. This, just click on that. You can see immediately I clicked on it, the diamond showed here. Okay, we also go to the right and you click on it. That's for the right. Okay, so if I just shift this to the side, you can see those are the two key, okay, I think they call it keyframe, not keystroke. Those are the two keyframes, okay, for those animations. Then that's when the slider is fully at the beginning of the animation. Now we don't need to bother ourselves with the position of those properties when the slider is in between. Okay, we don't care. All we do is we just slide it to the end. Okay, you slide the animation slider to the end of the animation and say, okay, at the beginning this is their value and at the end this is their value. We set up a new value for them. So for the left it's going to be 0, and for the right is going to be 1. Then while we do that, we're going to put those keyframes. I click on it, you can see the keyframe showed, and if I click on this, the second keyframe showed. Okay, though okay, it's not going to be 1, it's going to be 2. So no, sorry, it's 1 actually. Okay, that means the reason I'm saying I noticed there's something wrong is because of this line. Okay, it means there was no change in the keyframe, and that is because this, if we come back and click on this little diamond, go back to the page one panel, and you check the right, is showing that it's on 1. It's not supposed to be on 1, it's supposed to be on 0. Okay, press enter and then click on this to make sure it's on 0. Okay, and then we come back to the end of the animation and then change this to 1, press enter, and then click on this key, and we have our keyframe. So our animation is now, believe it or not, we've created our animation. Okay, we can hit play and we'll see a sample. Okay, now the animation actually looks too ideally it looks kind of slow, but the reason it's looking slow is not because of the duration. Okay, it's because of the slow in and slow out. Usually, in an animation, it's supposed to start slow and then take up speed and then end slow. That's the ease in and ease out. You normally hear in animation. So it's supposed to start slow, but the way this one is playing is that it just goes on a how do I say, on an average speed from the beginning to the end. Okay, it uses the same speed, which is not what we want. Now there's a very simple way you can correct that. You can, if you notice, I selected all the four keyframes. I clicked here and I dragged and I select all the four, and then I'm going to come down here and choose cubic. Oh, okay, we can't do it for all of them at a time. You can only do it for one at a time, I think. So okay, for those two, it has set it for those two. I chose cubic. Okay, and then I do the same for these two, and I choose, okay, maybe you don't even need to select them. You can just come down here and choose the cubic. I believe it will set it up for both of them. Yes, it does. So you don't even need to select the keyframes. Just come over here, this little button here, and you choose it, and you choose cubic rather than linear. Okay, so now when you play the animation, you see a difference. It kind of starts slow, pick up speed, and then end slow. Okay, so this makes it a bit better to the eye. It doesn't look kind of wonky. Anyway, that's for the animation of in from left. Okay, this is just one animation clip we created if it's coming in from the left. Now we also have to create another animation if it's going out. That's, suppose the page is already in, we want to animate it out. So for that, we're going to click here and choose sorry, not there. You're going to click animation and choose new, and you're going to call it out to left, and you click OK. And we can go to in from left. Rather than creating our animation from beginning, you can just right click, okay, you can click edit here, and then you'll see copy tracks. Okay, we click on copy tracks and you select the two tracks for the in from left, click copy, and then we go back to our out to left that we just created. You notice there are no tracks. Rather than recreating the tracks all over again, we can just come to edit and choose paste tracks. Now what you will find out is that this is supposed to be the out to left animation. However, because we just copied the tracks directly, when you play it, it's going to be the same animation of in from left. And also the duration is not what we said, so we need to set this to 0.6. okay, so remember, when you create the animation, always come back and change it to 0.6 rather than 1 second. So like I said, so now to create that out to left is just a reverse of this one. So what we need to do is we just need to swap over these keyframes. Okay, we need these keyframes to be here and these ones to be here. So I'm just going to drag these two. You notice I selected the two, drag them to the end here, and then select these two and drag them to the beginning. So that's it. Believe it or not, that's all. You've created your out to left. Okay, if you hit on play, you'll see it's going out to left. If you want to see in from left, you just select in from left, click play, and you have your in from left and you have your out to left. Okay, next we're going to create the next animation track, sorry, the next animation clip. which is in from right. You click OK. Remember, we need to change this to 0.6, and then you hit on edit. You paste tracks. Remember, I've already copied those tracks. We're just going to repaste them. However, now there's going to be a huge difference, because we need to edit these tracks so that the animation is playing in from right. So it's going to start from the right hand side and come in. So to do that, you're just going to drag this slider to the beginning. Okay, then go to your page 1 panel. Remember, all the animations we are creating it on page 1 panel. We haven't even started the other page 2 and the footer panel. So you click on the page 1 panel. Remember, we're at the beginning of the animation track. You go to left. Remember, if it's going to come in from right, the left is going to start from 2. Okay, it's going to start from 200%. Meanwhile, when you press enter, make sure you click on this keyframe to make sure the keyframe is set. Oh, okay, you probably don't even need to do that because the keyframe is already there. Just just to be on the safe side, make sure you click that. Then for the right is also already 2, so we click that. So we now move it to the end, and if you notice, in from right is already correct because the animation track that is at the end of the animation track, the left is supposed to be 0 and the right is supposed to be 1, which is correct. So we don't need to change that. Okay, so if you hit on play, you can see your in from right is correct. Okay, then finally we're going to create in out to right. So sorry, not that. I'm going to hit animation, click new, and we're going to say out to right, and you hit OK, and change this to 0.6, and then we just hit edit and paste our tracks. Then what we need to do, remember, this is okay, it's the previous one, so we can't just swap out the tracks. So rather than do this, I think what we need to do is we need to copy those tracks. So let's just delete these tracks. I don't want us to waste too much time. Let's just go to in from right. Remember, out to right is just the inverse of in from right. So we've already created in from right, so we should copy those animation tracks that we created. So copy tracks, select the 2, hit copy, then go back to your out to right, then hit edit and hit paste tracks. Okay, now if you play the animation, it's the same in from right. However, remember, this is just the reverse. So you select these 2 keyframes, drag them out from there. I don't want to mix them, that's why I drag those 2 keyframes and bring them to the middle first before I now drag these ones to the end, because if I drag both of them to the end, I will be confused to know which one is which. Okay, so to make sure, I don't even think you can actually, because it wouldn't make sense to have the 2 in the same position. It wouldn't make sense. So you drag those 2 to the beginning. Now if you hit play, you can see your out to right is correct. Okay, so that's it. We're done with our animation. Like I told you, all we need to do is we just need to copy those 4 animations over to these ones. So to do that, first there's a little housekeeping we need to do. You need to go to animation, hit manage animations. Okay, so if you notice, they are all under global. Oh, okay, I think they're already added into global, but just to be on the safe side, should we save? Okay, let's just save to be on the safe side. So if you go to in from left, hit this save. Before we do that, let me just cancel this. I'm going to create here a new folder and I'll call it animations. Hit OK. So that's your animations folder. So we're going to save all those 4 animation clips. We're going to save them there. So let's come back here, hit animation, hit click on manage animations. You start from the in from left and you hit this save button. You choose save as, you enter into animations, and I would like to save it as .anim. Okay, hit save. Do the same for the in from right, save as, choose .anim. We are already in the correct folder, choose save. Do the same for out to left, save as. Now we're not going to save the reset. Okay, the reset I think was created by default for us, because the reason we're not going to save it is not the reset animation is not going to be the same for all 4 different controls. So just leave the default. So out to right. So we have saved our 4 animations and hit OK. Now we come to our page 2 panel, and then what we need to do is we need to recreate those. Oh, sorry, not page 2 panel. We're going to click on the animation panel of page 2 panel. Okay, remember we were on this animation player before. Now we come back to this animation player, which is linked to page 2 panel. So what we'll do is we go to animation, you choose new, or should we say manage? Wait, cancel first. Let's go to manage animations first and choose load library. I think, is it? No. Okay, so we need to first create, I think, the tracks. We need to first create the animation tracks, the animation clips first. So you hit on animation, click on new, and you call it in from no, I don't think this. So let's just try to go to manage animations, go to load library, and then choose animations. Go in there, come down here and choose .anim, or choose all files. So we have in from left here, choose open, invalid animation library. I don't know why we get that. All files. Okay, so don't worry about that. What we'll do is we'll just create a new, go to animation, create a new animation clip, call it in from left. Don't worry, we're not going to create it from the beginning. We'll first have to create it first, then change this to 0.6, and then go over here, choose edit. Okay, I'm not sure. Okay, let's go to animation, manage animations, in from left. Okay, let's just delete this first, the one we just created. Click on this folder. Aha, there we are. So we have our in from left and in here. Click on it, click open. So we have loaded that. Click on the folder again, in from right, hit open, hit on the folder again, out to left, open, then finally we hit that out to right and open, and then you click on OK, and you can see we have loaded all the animations we created here. We have reloaded them back onto this. Now there's something that surprised me. Okay, I was thinking we needed to, because you remember the animations we created here, we created them for page 1 panel. I thought we had to, when we copy them over here, we had to change the settings so that the animations are meant for page 2 panel. But surprising to me was that if you go immediately after copying over the animations, automatically everything is set up correctly. Okay, it was really a shock to me that I didn't have to change those settings. So that's a big thumbs up for I think the Godot team. I think that was a very good feature, I believe. So now if you go to each one, let's say in from left. If you click that play, you will see that it is the page 2 that is being controlled. Okay, if you select in from right and hit play, you will see page 2 will come in from right. However, that animation seems incorrect because I think it has to do with the keyframes not being set correctly. Okay, anyway, we're going to rectify that later, but for now let's just go ahead and load out to left, hit play. You can see out to left is correct, out to right, hit play, out to right is also incorrect. Okay, it has to do with one of the keyframes. So before we continue, I think it's probably better we could rectify that. So if we choose in from right and hit play here, you can see it's incorrect. Out to right is also not correct because it's disappearing. What we want is, first you go to, let's start from in from right. Okay, let's start from this, and what we need to do is we need to make sure at the beginning the settings are not correct. So we go to page 1 panel, it starts from 2. Okay, left starts from 2. Aha, that's it. Left is not supposed to start from 2. Left is supposed to start from 1, while 2 starts from 2. So while right starts from 2. So after setting this left as 1, I'm going to hit this keyframe. That should rectify it. And then I'll go to out to right, and then change this. I have to slide this slider to the end, and then change this left is supposed to be 1. Hit enter and hit this keyframe. Okay, so that's where our error was from. So now if you play, it's going to be correct. Now I will be surprised if that rectifies the other animation also, because I want to believe there are 2 different animations. Now let's go back and see from here out to right. Does that rectify this? Oh my god, it does rectify that. So is the animations are, even though they are in different they are on different nodes, they still, each, whenever you make changes to any of the animations, it rectifies the other animation. Now that also gives you the idea that if you want an animation that you want to be completely different, you probably don't want to be copying the animation of one page onto another page, because if you make changes to that particular animation, it's going to affect the next page. Okay, so anyway, but for our own case, this is exactly what we want. It's exactly the same animations we want all over. So that's that for those animations. We also need to copy the animations here. Let's see if I can remember how we did it. So we go to manage animations, resource library, load. Okay, I don't know why we don't see those. We have to first create, like we did the other time, we have to first create an animation. So let's go ahead, create new, call it let's just call it anything, because we're going to delete it. Okay, so we'll go, after creating that, we'll need to delete. So we need to delete this animation track. How do we delete that? I'm not sure. Let's just go up here, choose edit. Okay, I don't know where. Okay, delete selection. Okay, no, that doesn't work. Anyway, let's go to animation, manage animations, delete. Oh, okay, this is where we delete them. So you can delete this here, and then click on this folder, in from left, open. Remember, for this we only want 2 animations. Hit that again, out to left, in from left, and out to left. We don't need the other 2. Okay, click open and close that. Now for the footer panel, if you select it and you hit play, oh okay, this animation, if you hit play, you'll see that it comes in, and if you choose out to left, if you hit play, it plays out to left. Okay, so That's I think that for this tutorial, for this particular video, I've shown you how to create the animations. I hope you don't get tripped up by that little error we ran through. Anyway, I also realized, just want to mention this before the end of this tutorial, I realized I'm kind of very slow in the video, so probably you might want to be playing the videos at 2 times speed. I think it's much better. It saves your time a lot. Okay. All right. I'm going to stop this tutorial here, and I'll see you in the next video where I'll show you how to hook up the buttons.